everyone, welcome back to my channel, Sew Yourself a Capsule Wardrobe, or if you've only just found me, welcome. In episode 2 of my #FridaySews video, I'll be going through all the things that I've made during the week and all the progress I've made on the things that I said I was going to make last week, if that makes sense. So if that interests you, stay watching. First of all, before I start, a quick thank you to Jen from Jen's Sewing Room for starting the hashtag #FridaySews. It's a hashtag that brings all sewers together and we can all talk about what we've achieved during the week and what our plans are for the up and coming week. Secondly, thank you very much to everybody who subscribed and liked the first episode of #FridaySews from me. I had an amazing response. I was absolutely overwhelmed by it. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that very much indeed. So let's get started. You may remember that I had 4 things I wanted to make in last week's video. I had a leopard print turtleneck I wanted to make, 2 pairs of jeans that I wanted to make or get started on, and there was a bonus because I wanted to make a top from the leftover fabric I'd had from my Tea and Night collaboration. Well, I did get some things done, so let's see exactly what I got made and what I had no progress on whatsoever. So the first thing that I made, which I made over the weekend, is the leopard print turtleneck top. It was a Trudy turtleneck from Wardrobe by Me, and the fabric I bought from Tea and Night Fabrics a little while ago. So this is the finished garment. I'm so happy with it. It fits beautifully. It's maybe a little bit tight, I have to say, around the body, but I'm losing weight at the moment, so that could be quite nice to wear in a few weeks' time. There we go. I folded the turtleneck over there. I didn't do the mock turtleneck. I did actually the folded neck on that. One of the reasons was the fabric's quite floppy and drapey, so I thought that the narrower neckband would flop a bit at the front, so I made it so it's doubled over. I used the doubled over version of the neckband, and it sits really nicely. I put a photo in there so you can see me wearing it. So there we are. One thing that I did find with this is that the stretch across the grain isn't as great as I thought it was going to be, and that's why it's a tad tight. But I prefer tight fitting garments than loose fitting garments, and I've not made the pattern up before. So I was really quite pleased with the outcome as it was. I'll show you a little clip that I'm going to record in a minute. I'm going to insert it into the video to show you how you can test how much stretch your fabric has and whether it's a good match for the pattern that you want to make up. Now, if you remember last week, I was waiting for some fabric to be delivered, and I hoped it was going to be delivered last Friday morning, and it wasn't. It actually arrived very early on Saturday morning. So straight as it had arrived, I popped it into the washing machine and got it laundered, ready to make up. And this is it. It's just ordinary, plain, ignore that label for a minute. It's ordinary, plain, black cotton viscose and lycra. It's quite lightweight, but that will be a second Trudy turtleneck, exactly like this one. I think I might put the doubled over neckband on that as well. You may have noticed the labels on it. I can't find the labels now. Fabrics from Tea and Night always arrive with a label on them to tell you exactly what the fabric is. So if you've popped your fabric into your stash, when you come to look at it weeks and months later, you know exactly what the fabric composition is and exactly what you bought. I mean, I go a little bit further, and when I've laundered my fabrics, I put a little sticker on to say that it's been washed in the washing machine, so I know I don't have to do that again before I start my garment. Now the black that I've just held up has got much more stretch across the grain than the leopard print has, so hopefully that won't be quite as tight in the body as leopard print was. I mean, like I said, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm going to wear it, but the black would just give a bit more ease. So anyway, let's have a look at the clip showing you how to measure the percentage of stretch. To calculate the percentage stretch of your fabric, all you really need to do this is an ordinary ruler marked in centimetres, because centimetres are actually easier to calculate than inches. So with your fabric, I'm measuring across the grain. The selvages are running down here. I'm going to put one part of the fabric on the 0 of the ruler and measure 10 centimetres of that and stretch it as far as it will go. Now that stretches to 16 centimetres. So 10 centimetres of fabric, let's do that again, stretches to, oops, pinged it, look, let go of it. You need to hold it down obviously on your 0. 10 centimetres of fabric stretches to 16 centimetres. So the 10 centimetre width stretches an extra 6 centimetres, which is 60% stretch. Okay, so the next thing that I was going to make last week in the last episode was I was going to start on the construction of 2 pairs of jeans for myself, the Eleanor jeans, tongue twister, the Eleanor jeans from J. Patterns. I didn't cut them out. I actually got a little bit sidetracked. But that's just me and my sewing. I get sidetracked all the time, and if I have to stick to rigid plans, I get quite bored. So in the meantime, I cut out another top. I'm going to show you how far I've got with that. The top is the Unwind sweater, I think it's called, from Pattern Emporium. And this is how far I've got with it. It's a dolman sleeved top. It's more like, it can be like a kind of a sweatshirt or tunic. It's got a variety of necklines, and I haven't decided exactly which neckline to put in on this garment yet. But it's got a dolman sleeve, so there's no sleeves to put in, and it's got, it's a really nice relaxed fit. I cut the pattern out in this greyish, beigeish, light sweatshirting fabric. It has, and all I've done so far is stitch the top sleeve seam and the underarm sleeve seam on both sides. So I've got the main part of the top made up. All I've got to do is add cuffs on it, which the pattern has cuffs on the sleeves. I'm going to do the banded bottom. You can either have plain hem or band on the bottom, but I've cut the band out for my version. I was going to do, or going to add another turtleneck type collar onto this garment. But having thought about it, the pattern has a hood version included, and I think I'd quite like to add a hood to this top. It'll be great for when we go away camping, just to wear in the caravan, just to pop on over, a pair of trousers, jeans, or even some jogging bottoms. And I think a hood makes it look a little bit more casual. So I've got quite a lot of fabric left, certainly enough to get a hood out. So I'm going to do the hooded version for this. So I haven't got much to do, and hopefully I'll be able to finish that this afternoon. And the last garment I finished this week isn't sewn at all, it's knitted. I'm a huge knitter. I always have some knitted projects on the go. In fact, one of my previous videos, I looked at all the projects that I had currently on the needles. And this, the item that I finished, was half finished at the time that I made that video. And it's the novice cardigan, mohair edition by Petite Knit. At the time that I recorded the knitting video from a few months ago, this cardigan didn't have any sleeves, and I was kind of saying, well, I need to finish the sleeves off, there's not much to do. It's like, as soon as I pick the the knit stitches up for the sleeves, I just motor down to the end, and I did. Yeah, so this is knitted from the top down. It's all in one and it has yoke increases. I'm not sure you can see those yoke increases, but the yoke is increased. It's a circular kind of yoke really, rather than a raglan. I made a bit of a mistake around here with the increases because I didn't knit into the back of them, which I should have done, and I did that for the rest of the garment. But I'm more than happy with the little eyelets around the neck ribbing there. I think it gives it a bit more interest around the neck. I popped on shell buttons on those and popped in with my own little labels in the back, which I do with all my garments that I've made that are going into my capsule wardrobe. I had a bit of a problem with this actually. I finished off the first sleeve, and it's, as you can tell, it's sort of I'll hold it up, a balloon sleeve. So the sleeve isn't decreased at all. There are no decreases on the sleeve, but then the sleeve is gathered onto a cuff there. When I came to the second sleeve, I thought my actual sleeve length was long enough, so I then started knitting the cuff onto it. When I finished the whole cardigan, I tried the cardigan on, and I could tell that one sleeve was shorter than the other. And I kind of undernard, you know how you do when you measure things. I measured it again, put the two together, jiggled it around. But it wasn't me thinking it's too short. The sleeve was actually too short. In fact, it was 3 centimetres too short. So last weekend I undid the cuff, picked up the stitches again around the sleeve onto 2 circular needles, added on, knitted an extra 3 centimetres and then re-knitted the cuff. But it's taken over 9 months for me to knit this. I started in April in 2022 and it's now the beginning of February 2023. So I think that extra couple of evenings that I spent redoing the sleeve and the cuff was worth it, because I would have known that sleeve was short forever, and it was well worth re-knitting. Once I'd finished the cardigan, I hand washed it, dried it on the airer, and then pressed it, and so it's it is blocked because I knitted it on a long circular needle and then used 2 circulars for the sleeves. It definitely needed blocking. So after that's blocked, it looks really quite nice and I'm really pleased with it. So I'm really glad that I went back and corrected the mistake that I'd made. Okay, well, that's me rambling on about last week's achievements. For this coming week, I will probably finish off my Unwind sweater, my Unwind hoodie, and probably put the hood on rather than the turtle or mock turtle neck, and finish off the cuffs. There's not a huge amount to do. That will be finished this afternoon, to be honest, or definitely over the weekend. I'm going to make another true turtleneck out of the black cotton viscose and possibly get those jeans all cut out and ready to stitch. Like I said, I often have lots of plans, or that's what's 2 plans, 1 to finish, 1 to make, and 2 pairs of jeans to cut out. But I'll probably get sidetracked. I'll probably decide to make something else this week that wasn't even on my radar, but that will fit into my capsule wardrobe. So I guess I'll update you next week and see exactly what I've made and what I haven't made. So let's see the progress next week. Okay, so that's all from me this week. I hope you've enjoyed episode 2 of #FridaySews. Join me again next week for episode 3 to see the progress, if any, that I've made. If you could give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, that'd be absolutely amazing. Thank you to everybody who did that for me last week. I really, really do appreciate your help. That's all from me. Until next week, happy sewing. Bye.